Lift, we think the one-on-one reading time is our star component. It is, if not the most important thing we do during our time with the kids. And the one-on-one reading is all about fluency. Fluency is a child's ability to read a book correctly, comfortably, and with understanding. So that's what this one-on-one reading is trying to help the child become fluent. Here's how we do this. The child will go to their cushion, as you see here. Their cushion is on the floor, and there will be a folder. Do you have your folder there, Lainey? Or for your packet? They will have a book bag, and inside the bag will be what they're reading. And so Lainey will be sitting waiting, and I will go over to a crate, and I will find Lainey's folder. And then I will come over to her. It's important that Lainey comes over here and not to the folder, so that minimizes the kids goofing around over at the folders. Once we get to the cushion and I come down and sit by Lainey, the first thing that's important is you make a connection with the child. So just look at her and say hi Lainey. And you can ask how their day is. Did you have a good day?
I did, yeah.
Good. You ready for some reading?
Yeah.
All right. That connection is important. Make sure that you know that you're not just here to sit and stare. You're here to make a connection with the child. The next thing that's really important is this shoulder-to-shoulder posture for reading so that you're close. Also, we want the child to sit up. Sometimes you'll see the child do this. They'll just hang out and lay down, and they are not engaged. They've checked out. This is a checkout position. So you want them sitting up, and then the procedure that we follow is like this. Lainey will get in her bag. She'll get the book out that she's reading, and I'll say, "You're reading Sammy the Seal?"
Yeah.
And I will take the folder out and write that down, the page that she's starting on. And then Lainey's going to start reading. When she starts reading, I'm going to let her read for me a little bit. If she gets stuck on a word, I want you to do 3 different things when the child gets stuck on the word. One thing you can do is tell them to just skip the word, and I'll model that in a minute. Skip the word, because if they skip the word, most likely the context of that sentence will allow them to say, "Oh, now I know," and they'll go back and pick up that word. The second thing you can try is just say, "What's the beginning sound of that word?" And that might help them figure out the word. And if neither of those things work, give the word to the child. Do not ask the child to sound out words. That's not part of fluency. When you ask the child to sound out the word, by the time they try to figure it out, they've lost meaning. So the goal is to keep them flowing and enjoying and understanding. So I'm going to ask Lainey to read here for just a moment.
It was
Go ahead and skip it.
time at the zoo.
Let's go back. What would that, it was, do you see what it starts with?
F.
Feeding.
Feeding.
Go ahead and read that again.
It was feeding time at the zoo. All the animals were getting their food.
Good job. Keep going.
The
Look at the pictures.
lions
Good.
ate their meat. The elephants ate their hay.
So what I did there was I told her to just skip the word, and then she came back. She still couldn't get the word, and then I had her look at the beginning sound. She still didn't want to try to attempt to get that word, so I just gave it to her. It was very quick, and that's how it needs to go. The goal, well, when they're reading, is not to teach them how to sound out words, but to keep that text flowing so that they're enjoying it and they're understanding it. The last thing we want to do during one-on-one reading is keep the child reading. They will try, a lot of them will try to get out of it, squirming around, getting off track. So keep them reading at all times if possible. And I want to give you 3 ways that you can do this. I'm going to read with Lainey and model the first way. Lainey, I'm going to read for a while, and then when I stop reading, you have to start reading, okay? I'm not going to tell you what page, so watch with your eyes. The monkeys ate their bananas. The bears ate their honey. Then it was time for the seals to be fed.
Mr. Johnson took them fish. Hooray for fish, said the seals. They jumped into the water.
What I did there was I didn't tell Lainey we're reading page by page, but I said watch where I'm reading with your eyes, and when I stop, it's your turn. That's one way you can do it. Something that's fun to do for kids that really are hard to keep reading is read together, read in unison, so we'll do that. Let's read together, okay? Soon the basket was empty. That is all there is, said Mr. Johnson. There is no more. That way you can model expression, and you can model where to stop and punctuation, and it's just safety for the kids. Some of them like to do that, and it's a little switch up for them. And then the third way is tell the child they can read until they get tired, and then they get to choose when to stop, and then I'll take over. So we'll do that one.
Thank you for the fish, said the seals. They were good. The seals were happy. But one little seal was not happy.
He sat by himself. He looked sad. What is wrong, Sammy? Said Mr. Johnson. So that way that gives the child, they can take charge a little by saying, I don't want to read anymore, or some of them will say, I'm going to read forever. So it gives them the choice there. Last thing we want to talk about here is picking out books. When you come in to read with a child, your child might have a book in their book bag, or they may not. If they don't have a book, they'll need to pick one out. We want you to go up and help the student find a book. The goal in this is to find a book that we call is just right. And you won't know that when you're just pulling it off the shelf, but you'll know it when you go to sit down with the student. What we're looking for is a book that the child can read comfortably. It's not too easy and it's not too hard. Kind of a rule of thumb, if the student misses more than 5 words on a page, we sometimes say that might be too hard for the student. In general, we want the kids to read a little below level, because the goal is ease of reading, become fluent, and enjoy the book. So a little bit easy would be much better than something that's too hard. In closing, I just want to make sure that you volunteers know that kids need to know that they can all read. It's just a matter of getting the right book in their hands that they enjoy and that they can work with, and that reading is fun. And we also want you to be talking about these books with the kids and laughing and showing them that enjoying a book together is wonderful.